I have nothing against couches. I rather like the guy on the couch in Half Baked, but sometimes you got to be against the guy who's been lazy. He's just coming off the couch. Joe Flacco, maybe it's been a while since you got off the couch, but you have got some work in store for you this week. Welcome to another episode of the Mafia Minute. I am Magnum Mills here with Jamie G, talking all things Buffalo Bills all the time. This week we are previewing the Week 10 matchup with the Bills traveling to Indianapolis to face the Colts. Thank you for checking out our show. The Mafia Minute is presented by CSGAP Fantasy Football. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. We're on social media at CSGAPFF and on the World Wide Web at MafiaMinute.com. Very simple and easy to remember, just like the flaps, FLAPS. Very crucial to our success. Follow, like, and please subscribe. You had fun. Remember the thumb. How you feeling, Jamie G? You're on the road again this week. It's not quite hostile territory, but it is a former divisional foe. I know you're a little bit nervous probably, but overall, how's the mindset here going into Week 10?
Yeah, we're banged up. We've got some running a little thin at wide receiver. We've got some issues. Made some changes on the defensive line. We just had to put Smoot on IR. So some adjustments, but overall, I think this is a spot that the Bills, should be able to go in and have some success with. The Bills Mafia will travel well. It's not going to be easy. I was really impressed with Indianapolis's defense against Minnesota last week. I thought that they played better than I thought. I think our offensive line will have some challenges, but I expect them to win. And I expect the Bills to respond, not playing their best game last week against Miami despite the win.
I also expect them to respond. That's what we're hoping for sure. Before we get into the game preview, let's just get into the Bills on parade, the latest Buffalo Bills news and whatnot. Right up top, we talked about it on the previous episode. Safety Mike Edwards wanted a trade. Bills couldn't trade him. They granted his release. I don't think there's really a big surprise there. It kind of is what it is. And the Bills wound up not making any other moves at the trade deadline as far as trades, but they did bring back some old friends on the defensive line. Defensive tackle Jordan Phillips and defensive tackle Quentin Jefferson are back. What do you think, Jamie G? Was this enough? Did the Bills need to make another trade? Just bolstering the defensive line depth enough here? Would you like to have seen something else? Or are you good with the status quo?
I'm fine with what they did, and I actually think we got bigger in the middle, and I think that helps. We also got two guys that are there's not going to be any quabble in the locker room. These guys are part of this Bills team. They've been, it's like a family in there. So I think it's a good fit. They also know the defensive system. There's not a lot of, hey, you got to get you up to speed kind of thing. So I do like that, and I think honestly this will help a little bit with the run defense, more so than the pass rush. I would have loved to get the move that the Lions made with the DN there and stuff. But I think this is about right. The Bills are a good team. They're going to live with what they've got, and they think that it's good enough to continue to grow and be playing their best football as the season wears on.
The Bills have a lot of things, but not necessarily so much with the cap space, which does limit some of the moves they
Yeah.
can make. So I think given those constraints, they have done a very good job. And we don't like to look too far ahead. Just something to note here. When it comes to next week, the Bills have the big matchup against the Kansas City Chiefs. And the NFL went ahead and they flexed the Cincinnati at Chargers game into Sunday Night Football there for week 11. So that leaves the Bills KC game as the lone national game in the 4 o'clock window, the very rare 4:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time start in Buffalo. So this is again going to have that playoff like atmosphere. Everybody is going to be watching this game. So hopefully
Yeah.
that works well for the Bills. But get ready, Bills Mafia. You're going to be on the big stage again and quite a few times for the rest of the season here. Let's move into the tail of the tape for the Week 10 matchup. We have the 7-2 Buffalo Bills traveling to Indianapolis to face the 4-5 Colts. This is Sunday, November 10th, 2024, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kickoff. Watch it on CBS. According to the Draftkings Sportsbook right now, the Bills are 4-point road favorites, minus 198 on the money line, while the Indianapolis Colts are 4-point home dogs, plus 164 on the money line. The game total is 47. points. Nothing really to worry about here with the weather. You are indoors. So let's move into the injury report. Over on the Indianapolis side of the ball, not too many concerns, but they have a couple. Center Ryan Kelly is out. He's been placed on IR, expected to return this season, but he will be out for the Week 10 matchup. They have two questionable players. Linebacker Zaire Franklin is questionable with an ankle. Wide receiver Michael Pittman Jr. is questionable with back and finger injuries. Both of those players are legitimately questionable. Not sure if they'll make it out there. And Joe Flacco is once again expected to start at quarterback for the Colts. Jamie G, I know the Bills side of things is going to be tougher, so take a deep breath there and then break down the Bills injury report for Week 10.
We got a little bit of concern here, man. I think the biggest concern is rookie wide receiver Keon Coleman with that wrist coming off that cheap shot from Poyer last week against Miami late in the game. He's extremely doubtful. I don't expect him to play in Week 10. It's more of a question of whether he goes on IR or not, I think, and how many games this will be. We've seen that earlier in the season with Taron Johnson where they elected not to, and he was out just as many games anyways. We'll see, but I think this is worth monitoring. Little concern for Keon Coleman here. A little bit of positive news. We're trending in the right direction with Christian Benford. Lockdown, outstanding cornerback for the Buffalo Bills. He's been having a phenomenal season. He's also dealing with the wrist. Signs point to him being available in Week 10. I hope he is. He was noticeably gone last week, and that's never a good thing. So definitely want to get him back in there as soon as possible. And then wide receiver Amari Cooper also with the wrist. When you get a wrist, you get a wrist, I guess. I think he returns this week. We got to keep an eye out though. He's not really practicing like we're catching balls and stuff. We'll have to see what's happening there, but I'm hopeful that he'll return. Banged up, but I think they play. We've got cornerback Kaiir Elam. He hurt his shoulder in that game against Miami. I think he's going to be available if needed. Defensive back Cam Lewis also hurt his shoulder in that game. I think he's going to be back if needed. Defensive end Casey Toohill has been a big part of this rotation at defensive end. He hurt his knee. I think he's going to be fine. He came back in that game last week and played. Fullback Reggie Gilliam hurt his hip. He looks to be all right to play. And then wide receiver Curtis Samuel with the pack. He played a little bit last week. I think he picks back up this week. It'd be nice to have him with some of the injuries to the other wide receivers. Overall, it's obviously not great, but given the Bills' injuries issues this season and last, it's about par for the course.
Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. Moving deeper into the game preview here, we have Jamie G's keys. You know my keys. These are the keys to victory. He's got a couple of things that the Bills need to make happen in order to win this game. Jamie G, without further ado, make with the keys.
Yeah, these are Jamie G's keys. Keys number one, Mills, we have got to stop the run. Last week, let's just call it what it was. We were terrible against the run, worse than most weeks. It was bad. Needs to be a point of emphasis this week, and the Bills need to respond in slowing down JT Money, Jonathan Taylor. Number two, we've got to get Joe Flacco off his spot. Look, he's 40. There's not a lot of wiggle there. There never was. There's even less now. Pressure him, force him to move or get sacked, hit. I like getting some pressure on Joe Flacco this week. I think it can lead to good things for this defense. On offense, we got to start fast, man, and we got to win the battle up front. I was really impressed watching the Indies defense, the two tackles they've got inside there between Cleveland and Armstead. They were physical. They were moving people. They were getting after the quarterback. They got Sam Darnold a lot. So we're absolutely going to have our best game from our offensive line and start fast, man. We want to get them. This leads me to my last key here, man. Don't let them hang around. Do not let them hang around. Put this game out of reach as soon as possible. You do that from scoring points, and I'm not talking about field goals. I'm talking about getting 7, getting an early lead, making them one-dimensional, and don't let them hang around.
Okay, I think if they do that, you will be in business. And we need some predictions, and we like our predictions like we like our Buffalo Wings. Jamie G, he's coming in hot, but he's got options. Just like our Buffalo Wings, we have a mild prediction, a medium prediction, and a hot prediction. Start us off with the mild, work our way up, man. What's going down this weekend? Give us the predictions.
Yeah, mild this week it's a mild. It's a mild, but it's still something. I got the Bills as an offense will have over 200 total yards of offense. Feeling pretty good about that. Medium, we're heating up a little bit. I think this is your classic Buffalo medium. There's some spice to it, all right? The Bills are going to score in every quarter. So they'll score all 4 quarters of this game, not put up a goose egg in one singular quarter. That is the medium coming in hot here. We're going to run it back, Mills. For the 10th consecutive week, the Bills defense will force a turnover. 10 in a row. Yo, yeah, coming in hot.
All right, I think that's got some spice, but it's still nice. And next up, I need you to get out your dream board here, and I need you to manifest some Mafia magic. Give us the dream scenario, the ideal way this matchup in Indianapolis could unfold. What's going to happen that makes you just oh so comfortable watching the game? No worries, just having a good time, going to bed, easy peasy. Everything is perfect. Give us the dream scenario.
Oh man, absolutely. We lose the kick or the coin toss, right? But that's okay because we open the game off with a kick return for a touchdown, 7-0 right off the bat. We then force a 3 and out and score immediately. First or second play in that drive. Now all of a sudden it's 14-0. Game barely got started. We then get a strip sack return for a touchdown. It's 21-0 at the end of the first quarter, and the Bills don't punt once this entire game, end up winning 53-3.
That is a very specific score, but I think Bills Mafia would be there for that one and they would sleep very comfortably after that type of victory. Anything else specific you would like to point out about this matchup?
I think it's going to come down to the battle up front. It does most times. If the offensive line can get the run game going and protect Josh, I expect the Bills offense to be able to do what they want to do. And as long as we can stop the run, get a little pressure on Flacco here, I think that we can shut this down. I think it's a matchup that favors the Bills, but they're going to have to play well and win the battle up front.
It really does start up front in the trenches. I think we feel pretty good about the Bills prospects here going in. So let's find out how good we feel. First up, we have our Bills bets. It's fun to watch the Bills game. Of course it is, but sometimes you want a little bit of extra action just to maximize your fun. To do so, we're each giving out one Bills bet per game, and we have a tripod, a 3-leg single game parlay to help you out. I will go first here, Jamie G. I think you're going to do pretty good, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I have the Indianapolis Colts under 19.5 points. That's plus 140. So they score 19 or less. I'm taking it home. If you put $100 on that, you would bring back 240. Not too shabby if I don't say so myself. Jamie G, what's your Bills bet for week 10?
Yeah, Mills, I've used it before. I'm using it again. I got Josh Allen, 2+ passing touchdowns. It came back down to earth a little bit. It's minus 120, 100 cricket coins here to win 183.
That brings us to our tripod again. This is a 3-leg single game parlay, getting the odds from the Draftkings Sportsbook. Right there up top for the first leg, we're going with the Josh Allen, 2+ passing touchdowns. Too sweet to pass up here. Next up, we've got Dalton Kincaid over 4.5 receptions. That one's plus 120 on its own. And then we have Khalil Shakir, leg number 3, 50+ receiving yards. That one's minus 140 on its own. So we have the Josh Allen, 2 passing touchdowns, Kincaid over 4.5 receptions, Shakir 50+ receiving yards. You put the 3 legs together, that's plus 500. So $100 brings you back 600. Not enough money to go taking over the world or anything like that, but that's some solid money. Good way to get that early holiday shopping started. Jamie G, I've got a feeling you like this one, right? You any worried about going back to the well with the Josh Allen 2 passing touchdowns twice, or is it just a matter of we really should have had the cojones to go up to the 3 passing touchdowns?
I think he gets the 2, and unless this just turns into a James Cook smash type game, I think he gets the 2, man. He's been so good in the red zone. I think he gets the 2.
I think he does as well. That brings us to our draft Joshes. These are our DraftKings picks for the Buffalo Bills Showdown contest over on DraftKings. Not a lot of big ones here for this showdown against the Colts, but we know some of the Bills fans like to play them, so we just have a couple of quick picks this week. Up top in your captain spot, no surrender, no hesitation. Pay up for Josh Allen, 17-7. Very expensive. That's okay. You want him in the captain spot. If it looks like Cooper and Coleman are both out, you want to get a little funky in a tournament, you could consider playing Dalton Kincaid at captain. That's only 10,500. Opens up a lot of other things you can do with your lineup. But again, given our druthers, we're putting Josh up top. If you're looking for some value plays on the higher end, Dalton Kincaid in your flex at 7,000 flat is nice. On the lower end, you have Mac Hollins down at 3,200. Seen him play a bigger role last week. That could continue this week. On the other side of the ball, I think the favorite overall play is probably Josh Downs at 9,200. You could pay up for Jonathan Taylor, but he's going to be a little bit more expensive and higher owned. If you're looking for a value on that side, rookie Adonai Mitchell is down all the way at 1,400. One random touchdown pays that off. And if you just want to, maybe not a full stack, but a favorite pair or trio here, we definitely like stacking Josh Allen with Kincaid, Shakir, run it back on the other side with Downs. Or if you want to get a little bit funkier in a tournament, you can play Josh Allen at captain with James Cook, throw in your favorite wide receiver, and then run it back on the other side with Jonathan Taylor. So good luck to you on DraftKings this week. Only one final order of business remains, and that's Jamie G's final score prediction. Pretty sure he's going to have the Bills being victorious, but the question is, by how much?
Yeah, you know what, Mills? I do have the Bills winning this one on the road and advancing to 8-2. I've got Bills 27, Colts 13. Go Bills.
We like that, baby. And if you just want to throw $5 on that exact final score on DraftKings, the odds are plus 12,000. So if you put $5 on it, that's the final score. You'd win $605. So it's better to scratch her. That's all I will say. We're going to be back to review the results of this game early next week. Anything else you'd like to mention before we get out of here?
Bills Mafia, let's show up there. It's a 4 o'clock game. This is going to be a fun one. We're in a dome. I expect to see the game plan to be what it needs to be given the injuries. And yeah, let's get it, man. Let's go to 8-2. We're in the thick of the season. We got some really tough games coming up down the stretch. This is one that I think we're supposed to win. We need to win it. Let's stay focused, not look ahead till next week at Kansas City. Let's get the dub, man. Go Bills.
Go Bills. The muck is getting thick, so strap those golf shoes on and let's do the thing. Thank you for checking out the Mafia Minute presented by Caesar Gap Fantasy Football. Once again, find us wherever you get your pods and on YouTube, on social media at Caesar Gap FF, on the web at MafiaMinute.com. Very easy to remember, just like the flaps. Follow, like, and please subscribe. If you had fun, please don't forget the thumb. I'm Magnum Mills. He's Jamie G, and he is going to have you as hype as possible for this game and the next episode of the Mafia Minute.
When it's too tough for them, it's just right for us. Let's go, Buffalo. Go Bills. We'll see you on the flip side. Let's get this dub. Go Bills.